Hello everybody and welcome to the NBL1 Show. I'm Cameron Luke, Liam Santa Maria alongside me after what has been a huge weekend in the world of the NBL1. Only two teams remain undefeated on both sides, both from regional Victoria in Bendigo in the women's and Ballarat in the men's. Kilsyth got beaten on the weekend, but we saw the performance of the NBL1 season so far by our very special guest. And anytime Liam Santa Maria, someone drops 50, you know they can play. Something that you and I don't think we even did combined.
Oh,
but fair.
Well, fair, yes. But Steph got it done.
Steph Reid got it done from Frankston. 50 points. Welcome and congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
Look, we are obviously, we need to know what it feels like when you're into a game and you're shooting so particularly well and you just can't miss and the bucket looks so big. What's going through your mind?
I mean, the whole game was really a blur. Like when I got home, I had to watch it again.
I'd be watching it again as well.
Because I didn't remember half the shots that I had taken. Like even just watching it back, like some of the shots, like there was deep threes. When I look at it, I'm like, I did not shoot that shot. Yeah, it was really just a blur the whole game.
You just had that feeling like you could get what you wanted. Like we've got footage here of you getting to the rim, like you say, pulling up in transition, coming off the pick and just making plays. 19 from 25 from the field, 7 of 8 from long range, and you describe yourself as a pass-first point guard.
Yeah.
And you had, what did you have, 10 assists, 7 steals, absolutely stuff in the stat sheet. But the points in particular, did you just feel like you could get what you wanted?
I feel like, the offense really helped.
The old get the hell out of the way and let me shoot. Traditionally does.
It's a good offense.
Jess has said that she gives me the freedom to do what I want on the offensive end because she knows that I want to create. So I was really lucky to come down and, our bigs were setting good screens, so that's why I was getting to the ring. But, everything just felt like a good shot that game. There was a few heat checks where I was like, okay, that was pretty terrible. But other than that, it just felt like it was just an exciting game. The energy was good.
Fair to say that the 6 misses you had, you probably your 6 heat checks over the course of 4 quarters, but everything else went down. And it was a pretty important game as well, not just for yourself, but for the team, because the season hasn't started particularly well when it comes to win-losses. So to be able to get a big win and give some confidence as a team and going forward, be able to build from this is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got our big in, finally. She landed today.
Yep.
So we can actually have some size on the court, which is fun. We've played this far without a big or with bigs that haven't been in the game for so long.
Who is that?
Sharisha Richards. So she was with us last year. She averaged a lot last year. I think she was in the 20s when she did play. So, she's going to be a really good thing for us to bring in. And I think this is a turning point for us in our season, to come out and beat someone by 40. It doesn't matter whether they're the best or the worst team, 40 points isn't something to play around with.
That's very true.
That was all fun talking about the team and all, but let's get back to talking about you.
Humility's not really our strong suit here.
You just had 50. When did you know that you were on par or on target for 50?
For 50? Maybe half time. In the first 3 minutes, they called a timeout and it came to the bench, and I think I had 11 or 15, and Jess was like, just keep giving the ball to Steph, just go. And I was like,
whoa, that was the instruction to the team.
In the first 3 minutes.
3 minutes in.
But that was just at that point.
I love it.
That was just at that point. Because they couldn't defend what we were running. We were just running a high on ball.
Yeah.
And it just worked. And it kept working. So we just kept going with it. And that just flowed. And then at halftime, the team went crazy in the locker room. Like, Steph, you have 31 points. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I might be on track for something. But surely in the second half, they're going to double me or do something, and it just kept going.
It's interesting, though, because in hindsight, 11 in the first 3 minutes, 31 and a half, 50 probably not high enough.
Oh, it's a little letdown.
Should have went for 60.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough. Sorry, I let you down. Maybe try again.
You mentioned that, though, because you're right. Like, you expect a double team. You expect a defensive change up in some way when you got 31 and a half and the team was in total control. But when you're playing, when you're dribbling down the court and it's not coming, there's no double team coming, you're thinking, what are they doing?
Not too directly, but in a way. I did, in the locker room, the girls started saying, you might get box and one, you might get denied, you might get face guarded.
Yep.
That's what I expected coming out. And they did pick me up full court, but it just wasn't what I had expected. So I kind of was just having fun by this point. And our defence, we were playing a trap, full court press. So that was a lot of steals and tips off that. They can't set up a defence, so that was good for us.
The story that ran on the NBL1 site I think today or yesterday or something. The headline was the 50-point game that no one saw coming. Not sure that's entirely true, because this is not like at the end of the season in the NBA, guys have 50 that you never would have expected. You're 4th in the league in scoring right now, 2nd assists. You've been putting up big numbers, and you're very hungry right now. You talked in the last couple of days about working on your game really hard. We just had Mitch Creeks on this set talking NBL stuff and NBA stuff, and he's a guy who was an underdog story, didn't have a spot in the NBA, and just put a whole bunch of hard work into getting there. That's what you're doing right now with the WNBL, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, last year I was blessed to have the opportunity to be with Dandenong, but coming from a college career where I'd started every game I'd ever suited up, to coming back, and it was humbling, and it was something that gave me a lot of drive, and it gave me the motivation. I want to play in that league, and I want to be a part of the wins and the losses, and contribute on the court. So that was something coming into this off season. I know I didn't have a lot of film to show them why I belonged in that league. So if I didn't do it here, I'm pretty much set to not have a spot. So I've been working really hard, and every time I see someone sign, that's more motivation. Just add it, fuel to the fire. You got to work harder. So.
From that season, Cam, from that season with the Rangers, Beck Cole and all the other stars and elite players on that roster, working with them throughout the week and the like, what did you get from that experience? It feels like you didn't come away from that going, oh, geez, I'm not sure if I'm at the level. It feels like you're extra motivated from that experience. Yeah,
I learnt a lot. Being behind someone like Tessa Levy, she's been to the Olympics, probably go again next year. Just being behind someone like that and learning every day, being able to match up with her and Amelia, Todd Hunter, that in itself, it's so hard, and that's the level I want to play at. I want to be there. I learnt so much from Rachel Jarry, Beck Cole, just defensively. I've always been a good defensive player, but I just got so much more knowledge. Just playing at that level, I want to fit in at that level, so I have to work harder and I have to get there. So that was more so the mindset that I got out of that. Being surrounded by great players, you want to be at their level too, so you've got to get there somehow. What is the current conversations around, not just with Dandenong, but with any WNBL club, and has that enhanced or been more forthcoming since the weekend? There's a lot of full rosters when it comes to point guards. Being short, really... positions don't really... I can't swing to a 3, 4, 5. Not really good 5-man, unfortunately. There's a lot of full rosters when it comes to point guards, so it's hard trying to push my way back in there. I'd love to go back to Dandenong. They're an amazing club. The ownership there was great. The team was great. That was somewhere I really do want to go back, and hopefully I can get into there. If not, I'll just keep looking, hopefully, and if it's right, it'll come. If not, who knows? Well, what happens if not? What's the plan? I mean, obviously you're young, with your skill set, your work ethic, that you've got a long career ahead of you. But if it's not in the WNBL this season, what's the plan? I mean, if it's not in the WNBL, I'll probably head to Europe. My agent says that there's some opportunities there to take, so hopefully I can get over there if all else fails here. But I'd love to stay home. I really would like to just be in my country. We shout out agents on this show, so feel free to give him a... Yeah, do it if you want. Savvy from SIG, Sig Sport. So if it's not working, we are actually talking about going into the agency business. I love my agent. NBL overtime management. She loves her agent. And NBL1, so we'll see how it plays out. Can I ask about Jess May, your head coach at Frankston, a rookie head coach? You said she gives you the keys. Tell us about her as a coach, and are you enjoying playing for her? Oh, I am. Just the system that she's put in place for us. I think this weekend was when it finally clicked. And we got to play the style of basketball she's wanted us to play all along. We're up pressing and we're active defensively. But offensively, she kind of gives us just a template. And it's just, there's a high on ball or there's 2 high on balls. And then you just work out of it. I think it's good having the freedom to make your own decisions. And that's something that she does with us and trusts us as senior players to know where we're open, where someone else is open, and she's put the ball in my hands a lot, so I cannot complain. Mate, when the coach is saying, give the ball to you, of course you're going to talk openly. Where was Jess May during our playing days, Cam? That would have been very... She was actually putting together her own nice playing career while we were battling. That's true. I know it's hard, and we're still early days, and when you have an 18-team competition, it's very hard and take a while before you actually get exposed or play against a lot of the comp. But as it stands right now, who's the best team you faced at Frankston, do you think? I think Bendigo definitely was the best scoreline, obviously. But, you know, they're just, like, Gabe was such a problem for us. Going up against Levy and Kelly, 2 point guards that can assist the ball and score. I mean, that's hard to defend. Like, you have to have 5 defenders on the court. And you got to lock everybody down.
You predicted a 20-assist triple-double recently for Wilson, didn't you, on this very show?
Did I?
I think you might have. Or at least you hinted towards it.
Did she get it?
Yeah, she got it.
Then I did.
She
Yeah,
got it 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
I predicted that I don't think they'll lose.
Yeah, and it's... What do you think? Well, mate, like, obviously they're so loaded, so it's an almost irrelevant question to say what's their strength, but can you see any type of weakness in their makeup and the way they play where losing a game... Like, it's remarkable to think they could go on through defeated, but it's where we sit.
They had a close win this week over Hobart. They were up against it.
Yeah, I think Geelong will give them a really good run.
This week?
They'll like tips too.
Yeah, I
This
think
week.
they're going to give them a good run, you know, having the size that they do. Depth-wise, for Bendigo, they might, you know, come up against that a bit tough. But then again, Geelong has to compete with their guards. So, you know, it'll go either way. That'll be a really interesting match. I can't wait to watch that one.
Cam mentioned your win-loss record. You're 2-5.
Yeah.
4 of those losses have been against teams that are currently in the top 5. Basically kind of the big 4, right? Certainly the big 3, Bendigo, Geelong and Dandenong, plus also Nunawading.
Yeah.
We talk about strength of schedule.
Yeah,
you guys have had a super tough.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So using it as a plus now. Every other person who comes in who's had a good start to the year, Liam just whacks them because they've had a weak strength
I think it was maybe a loss to Waverley that maybe you probably might... Did you go down to Waverley? Is that right?
Yeah, the first game.
Yeah.
The first game.
But given how tough that schedule is, you've got the big girl coming in. You guys about to go on a bit of a run?
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a turning point for us. So I think we can compete against any team in the league, especially now we have a big. That's exciting.
You play Eltham this weekend, don't you?
Yes.
Well, that was actually one of the teams that Liam called out after the first couple of rounds, and I actually watched them last week when they played Ringwood. It's going to be fun to watch. Yourself and Chelsea Swears, who puts up a lot of numbers and has the green light as well for Eltham. Maybe do you know much about her? Have you played much against her? And what do you expect from this Eltham team, although it's the first time you'll see them?
Yeah, we played a practice match against her. First possession of the game, she came down and just dribbled into a 3-point shot and made it. So I got the scout pretty quickly. Yeah, but, you know, I have a lot of respect for her game. I mean, to put up that many points a week, like, that's very impressive. But we're a good defensive team, so she has to go against 5 of us. So that, I think, will be fun for us. You know, she's a good player. They're a good team. I think we can attack the paint against them. And we did in the practice match. We had a good, close game. They won. But, you know, I think we're coming back with a full roster.
What do you make of the league? Of course, the Siebel teams, the Big V teams, and obviously 18 of the best, you know, junior associations now being represented all together here in Victoria. What do you made of NBL1 in its early days?
Oh, I like it a lot. I like having the new teams in the mix as well. I think it's fun, you know, to have some new competition, have more depth, and to see, like, the talent. You know, sometimes it was people going back to Big V Champ and stuff, you know, for money, but now really everyone's in this league. So, you know, every week you're going up against the top players in, like, some of the top players in the country are in this league. So, I mean, it's a respectable league. It's, you know, it's a real building block coming back into WNBL season too. I mean, there's so many good players. Dandenong,
Geelong, Bendigo, obviously we spoke about, but Jenna O'Hay signing at Melbourne's a huge signing as well. Not only for the team, but for the league as well.
Huge, yeah. I mean, an Olympian. She's played 2 stints in the WNBA and been an absolute star in the WNBL for a long time. So awesome to have her in the league, and that's going to help that Melbourne squad a lot. What have they got? Monique Conti, Luella Tomlinson, Jenna O'Hay. That's a great big 3 now. And what are they currently? 3 and 4. So a game this week against, doubleheader against Diamond Valley and Ringwood. I'm not sure if she's going to be in uniform. Hopefully she is, and they might go on a bit of a run.
Let's swing over to the men's. We might start with the Frankston men as well. We had a slowish start to the year. I think Dan Trist will play this weekend, though, from all reports, and I think he's back definitely in the country, so expect him to suit up. Of course, South East Melbourne Phoenix signing as well. Do you see much of the men, the Frankston side, and what have you made of their early start to the year?
I mean, they've never had a problem scoring the ball. It was defensively at the start. I mean, they were letting teams put up near 100 points, and, you know, it doesn't matter how much you score. If they're going to score more than you, that's what's going to happen. You're going to lose.
You lose the game. That's true.
Yeah,
Like that's Dr. James Naismith came over that rule and I've stuck with it.
What a world. But, I mean, they're a deep team. I mean, they've got 7 starters. So, you know, you've got to compete against that. They've got, Dan Trist, Majuk, they got Nigel, Import, that's 3 bigs that they could start if they wanted to. I mean, have fun competing against that. So I think, I'm blue, obviously, through and through.
Of course.
But, I mean, I wouldn't put them out of finals.
They're actually a team that I think, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago after a slow start. They're a team, there's that whole, you don't want to play them later in the year, beat in maybe a lower finals matchup or even trying to hold on to your position, because I think they're a team that will gel once Tris comes in and they start to work a little bit more. And because they are a lot of those guys, and as talented as they are, they've been thrown in together and haven't necessarily played a great deal together. So they're a team that you would expect to have a second half of the year better than their first.
Absolutely. They've got a lot of scorers, so when they move the ball, which they have in the last 2 weeks, they win. So if they can keep doing that, it's going to be a really good season for them.
Cam, we move to the men. Ballarat beat Albury Wodonga by 60 and Kilsyth lost. And we just spent 5 minutes talking about Frankston, who were 3 and 4. Come on, man.
Hey, don't disrespect.
What do you mean? No, well, we always ask our guests about their own club. She's blue through
Come on, man. 60.
That is quite aggressive,
Are Albury Wodonga pretenders?
You actually called out their strength of schedule after they were 3 and 2.
Well, that was their first real test. No, actually their second real test. And the first one was against the COE.
Yeah, but it was a close 60.
It wasn't. It was not a close 60.
No, you're right.
And then on your home floor.
Yeah, I know. That's the big thing for me.
That's not okay.
See, that's the big thing, because Albury Wodonga and the Lauren Jackson Stadium up there, and you have to do a little bit of travel and something you can fly up there or you drive up or whatever it might be. But once you get up there, and Ballarat are good. Brendan Joyce has put together a really good side, and no doubt deserve to be the favourites. He is still upset that he wasn't allowed to get some. He tried to sign Venky Joyce, and he was upset that he didn't have the money to get him. So he's actually he thinks they could have got better, but they're real good.
They're really good.
But anyway, going up, losing by 60 at home hurts in whatever league. And
when you give up a triple-double, including blocks, that's a whole other thing. Dang Kuth, a real standout. And what a good time for him to do that. We're right in the middle of NBL free agency, just like Jess, trying to get himself back into the league and makes a big statement with a stat line like that. And they've got that NBL kind of core of Sam Short and Jerry Evans Jr. has NBL experience, Kwani Deng Kuth, plus the imports. Marquise Coleman's come in, hopefully his ankle's okay. Josh Fox is a really good player as well. They are a really, really good squad.
Well, they've got a new stadium opening as well in Ballarat this year, so they might christen a new stadium with some big finals games. They play, correct me if I'm wrong, they play Kilsyth this week, don't they? So Kilsyth, of course, lost to Southern, which is their first loss on Sunday, and David Barlow, from all reports, was just too hard to handle and was outstanding. I think gave him 24 and 10. Sam McDaniel had a really good weekend as well. Interesting, you talk about talent at Frankston, and Kilsyth hadn't lost a game until the weekend, but they are fairly stacked as well, and it's interesting. Peter Hooley, who joined us on the show a couple of weeks ago, after they got in that close tussle against Ringwood, says for whatever reason, they just don't play their best basketball against teams that are lower ranked. And it's a mindset that's going to have to change as the year goes on, because losses like this to a team that have got better, but losses like teams in the lower part of the NBL1 ranking can hurt you when it comes to home court advantage.
It results in playing finals in Ballarat, not in
Kilsyth.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Because this Southern team was 1 and 5 coming into this game. Now, obviously, Barlow's coming good, and he had a massive game, but they shouldn't have lost that game.
Got to point out, and excuses, of course, but their import wasn't there. Kilsyth's also, is it Isaac Turner, who's the broken hand. He'll be back this weekend. So he didn't play on Sunday, but still, they've been winning games without him anyway, and Pete Hooley's had an outstanding start to the year as well. Yep. But that's a game that
huge.
You can't. David Barlow's a superstar in Australian basketball, as we know, but you can't drop those games if you want to make sure you get home court advantage come the playoffs.
No, that's true. And just when the Southern Sabres were starting to kind of piece it together, they had a close loss. Who did they lose to? Melbourne in overtime.
On Saturday night.
Then they went to Kilsyth and they got a win. And now Sam McDaniel's going to be out 4 to 5 weeks. That's a kick in the guts.
Not really sure when that happened either, because I had a chat, bumped into randomly a couple of the Kilsyth boys on Monday, and Sam McDaniel, they had no idea until it was announced by Melbourne United that he'd fractured his hand as well, wasn't it? Or
fractured. Yeah. So are you thinking that he played a lot of that game with that fractured hand?
No, the Kilsyth boys, when I told them that this is, the announcement had been made, they were very, very surprised.
Right.
So I wasn't at the game, but there was no indication that he left the game with a fractured hand at all. So he had a huge game on Saturday night. Got a shout out to Dane Pinot, 22 points, 21 rebounds on Saturday night. Huge, of course, South East Melbourne Phoenix signing recently. So that Melbourne team, we seem to be saying around a lot of teams, there's so much talent, as you touched on, with everyone's playing in the league. There's going to be so many of these weird results or teams you don't want to face in the second half of the year because they start to gel. And I reckon Melbourne's one of them as well.
Yep, fair call.
All right, who wins, Kilsyth or Ballarat?
I think Kilsyth at home.
Really?
You?
Well, Ballarat just beat a team by 60.
That team was 3-1 before that game. Yeah, no, I think at home. I mean, these two teams are both really, really good, right? Ballarat and Kilsyth. And I think Kilsyth will be really motivated after dropping that game that they shouldn't have dropped. And on their home floor, I think they'll win.
I don't think that they're going to get as easy dunks, that Ballarat team. Guth was just dunking. They were just passing inside and they was getting easy dunks.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll get that as well. A little tidbit as well from that Sunday game. I don't think either of the coaches were there, Southern or Kilsyth.
Right. Schuler was at the...
Both of them. Cooper Brown and
Oh,
Schuler
they were there together.
were both together
at
at
the
either the under-17 and under-19 Australian camp, so that's always interesting as well. Steph, thank you. You'll beat Eltham this week, I assume? You're tipping you? Yeah.
Yep, I'm definitely tipping on.
Cool. Are you a basketball junkie? You're tuning into the NBL1 YouTube and all the Facebook and watching other games, or you just?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of the women's, obviously. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of it. So.
Yeah. And seriously, and we're not humble on this show. How many times have you watched back your 50? Like, I know we're only 4 or 5 days into this
Only
thing.
once.
Just
once.
really?
And I fell asleep during the fourth quarter, so I'll have to watch it again.
Okay. Had you been subbed out, then you nodded off, or?
No, I don't know. It was just after the game, so I'll have to watch it again.
Were you on the court at the end? When did you get your 50th point?
Maybe with a minute to go.
Did you get subbed out, or did you try and get a couple extra ones
there
up?
was no
stoppers?
stoppage. Yeah, there was no stoppage, so it was, dang it.
What you should have done, because you always like the foul. You get a standing ovation for 50, and that's always a nice moment to be waving off. Just something to keep in mind when you give Eltham 50 this weekend.
Okay, yeah, I'll back it up for sure.
There you go. On that note, NBL1 on YouTube channel and on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter as well. Steph, Reid, thank you for coming in. Liam, Santa Maria. What is game of the week this weekend on NBL1 YouTube? It has to be Kilsyth.
I think it's Kilsyth Ballarat.
Okay, cool. One of us might be there, or we might not be. Either way, the team will be there, and that's the most important thing.
Bendigo Geelong for the women. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game.
Who wins that one?
Bendy. Come on, man.
You know that I tipped Geelong to win in the pre-season. I'm going to ride that home all year. So Geelong will give Bendigo their first loss. NBL1, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you can see it. Get involved. We'll see you next week.